These are some useful inventory and other things tricks that Mojang doesn't tell you. The first thing is, if you have a chest, but you have a bunch of stuff in creative, and you don't want to just drag and drop it or just shift click it, then there's a much easier solution. Take it, put it in the chest, or any container that you want, maybe even your inventory, hold down the middle click button, and just drag it around. It will fill it up. Note this only works in creative mode, because if it was in survival it would be a bit broken. Number 2. If you want to take everything from a chest, but you don't want to just like shift click it all, then there's a much easier way to do that. This only works with the same type of item, for example chests. Don't hold shift, click 1, drag it over another one of the items at the same time, hold shift, and double click. That will move all of the items that are the same item that you picked up and hovered over. So for example, in my case, chest. Move from your inventory to the chest or vice versa. This could be useful if you're loading or unloading a shulker box or making a storage system. I don't know, it's up to you. Now you see, if you're playing with friends and you want to drop something out to them, you don't want to like go like this, because that's kind of tedious to do. I mean, it's doable, but if you don't want to go to your inventory, you could just drop them all out. But you see, the problem with that is they all just clump together. So there's a much easier way to do this. Hold the control key and press Q. That drops out everything. It also works in your inventory too. For example, I go to my inventory, control Q, drop, 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 drop. Perfect. Number 4. As you can see, I'm trading with the villager, and it works like this. This works well enough, it'll do. But once you get onto the higher level trades, let me just wait for this guy to level up. Like for example, stone. Say I had a bunch of stone, and I wanted to trade with them. I hold shift, and I press the button. But that's kind of annoying to go like this, and just keep going like that, for example. But there's a much easier way to do this. Hold shift and click the icon. As you can see, it'll bring this up. And now shift click all the M's out. If you press the space bar, then it automatically restocks the last thing you traded if your inventory is not full, and if you have all the items that you need to trade. It's really useful if you have a bunch of bulk items, for example, stone with a mason or paper for librarian, but I don't know. It's kinda useful. Number 4. Say I type something in the chat. Hello. Now, I don't want to type that over and over again if I want to, for example, keep saying something. Fortunately, there's an easier way to do that. That's like a staple phrase of this video. You press T, and then you press the up key on your keyboard. It automatically does what you said last. So you can just spam and spam and spam and spam. But if you press it twice, then it did the last thing that you did. For example, for me, it was /clear. And then you can just keep going up. I mean, I haven't done much in this world. But it just does a history of all things that you said. It's really useful if you just want to keep spamming your friend or something. But it's up to you for what you want to do with it. Now, if you're playing in creative mode, and you want to, say, have a dropper with a bunch of stuff in it. Like, you probably wouldn't fill a dropper full of droppers. That's just for the sake of this video. You don't want to just, like, get it again and have to fill it up with droppers. And this only works if you're in creative mode. But what you can do is you can hold the control key, and you can press middle click, and then it'll say dropper, but plus NBT. Now if you place it down, then it has exactly the same stuff. This also works with command blocks, and it doesn't work with note blocks, sadly, but it works with command blocks, it works with chests, it works with anything that can be tampered with. Okay, now on to the F3 menu ones. The F3 is the debug screen that shows all of this. And sorry, Bedrock players, this isn't going to work. This is Java exclusive. Anyways, if you hold the F3 key, I'm holding the F3 key, and you press F4, it brings up this game mode switcher. Now you can click on one, for example, and it'll update your game mode to whatever you clicked on. You can just press F4 to cycle through them also, so you don't have to use your mouse. But if you're playing in creative mode and you need to keep testing something, or you're making a video like me, I do this all the time. It's really useful, but it only works if you have cheats enabled or your operator on your server. Okay, number one, as I was saying before, if you just like spam the chat with stuff, or like you're playing in a server and the chat's messy, and you want to clear it, what you do is you hold the F3 key, and you press D. This clears the chat of its entirety. It doesn't leave a message saying, chat cleared. It works really well just if there's a bunch of stuff in the chat, and I do like to use it a lot. Okay, another one, F3 and B shows hitboxes. For example, as you can see, I can hit this guy right there, but I can't hit him outside of his hitbox. It shows the exact line of his hitbox, and the exact line of his eyes for a spectator, and the way he's looking. This is really useful, because it shows the items on the ground, too. So if you have it on, and you're looking around for lost items when you died in a biome that blends everything together, it's a really good thing to have, because the white line really doesn't blend in with anything. Okay, now for F3 and C. What it does is it copies the location to clipboard. So as you can see, I'm looking right this way on this block. Now say I just fly away. Don't mean to set it to adventure mode. But say I just fly away, right? It had said copied location to clipboard. Now if I go in here and do Control V, that's the standard paste, then it shows this: execute in Minecraft overworld, run TP, and just a bunch of jumble. Because if you click enter, then it teleports you to that exact location. However, if you hold F3C, then it will crash the game. I don't know why that was implemented, but if you're ever in a sticky situation and you can't press pause for some reason, that works really well. Now for the final one is F3 and G. What this does is it shows the chunk borders. Chunks are basically 16 by 16 blocks in the Minecraft world that just explain where you are, and, okay, that was a bad example, but they load in as you get farther. It's just, they could have loaded in block by block, but this way it was much less laggy. See how they're like those squares? Those are chunks. If I go up there, I'm positive that those will be chunks that hadn't loaded in yet. Yep, right here, they're chunks. You see, if you go to the spawn of your world, there's a thing called spawn chunks. I don't think I'm the best at making a video on that, so just maybe search it up. I might make a video, who knows. But spawn chunks are basically chunks that are always loaded, even when you're millions of blocks away. Simple explanation. I don't know why chunk borders could be useful, maybe if you want to keep making perfect squares. But, yeah, that's all I've got for you. If I missed something, then comment it down below. I'll pin the comment or I'll put it in the description. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later.